Alrighty, everybody. It is time for episode 2 of Tide Takes as Vanderbilt, in dominating fashion, takes away Alabama in DeBoer's undefeated season up in Nashville. It's Jonathan and Casey coming to you unapologetic, unfiltered, maybe a little unhinged this week as well. Can't be too happy with the loss. I'm going to kick it off, Casey. And I want to say, no, the season is not over, but I am nowhere near as optimistic as I was last week. And the main reason for that is the defense. But this past week, we came out flat. We looked completely unprepared on defense specifically. And it has me absolutely bewildered. I mean, I'm wearing the Mike Shula outfit because that was some Mike Shula crap.
Yeah, I saw you wearing the shirt when you turned the camera on earlier, and I was like, "Holy cow! I haven't seen that shirt."
That's a throwback to mediocrity, bro.
I thought those were burned.
God, dude. Oh my heavens!
I thought those just got lost in the forest fire somewhere.
I put this loss. I put it solely on DeBoer and Womack completely, with how unprepared we looked, how minimal of an impact the adjustments that they made had. I mean, the adjustments they made were piss poor. They were absolute. They did nothing. They accomplished nothing. And if you're making adjustments, right, you want to. Your goal is one, to confuse the other team. Two, to put your players in a better position. Or I should say, number one is to put your players in a better position. And the adjustments they made, I don't think they did that at all. At all. I mean, we were running 3 defensive linemen the entire game. Even on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3s, we're running 3 defensive linemen. I mean, that against a team that has been running, that ran down our throats. Ran down our throats.
And some of those plays, we only had 2 defensive linemen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have sometimes 2 tight ends and an H-back, a tight end, 2 H-backs on the field, and you have 3 defensive linemen. And you are letting all of the offensive linemen, not all of them, but majority of the offensive linemen have 3 run at your linebackers. Well, how do you expect your linebackers to cover pass plays in pass pro and pop the pulling guards at the same time when the guards are already 5 yards downfield on the snap of the ball going straight at the linebacker? It's not a recipe for success at all. At all. And I know you sent me a clip of Mystery Inc. and Scooby-Doo, because I think there may be an imposter among us, a defensive coordinator. It might be that guy we don't name over in where's that at again?
I forgot. I don't even know who you're talking about.
Oh, Pete Golden.
Oh, Pete Golden.
We went from 3rd and 4th and Golden to 4th and 3rd and Womack. I mean, that's the story of the last 6 quarters on defense, dude, is we have made the adjustments we've made have not worked. And the players either don't know what they're supposed to do or what their assignments are, or they're just not in position to maximize their spot on the field for their assignment. And I think that was 100% the key. I mean, the defensive play calling, not even the call itself, but the set, the formation on defense. Horrible. And that is completely on Golding, and that is Golding. I'm already calling him Pete Golden. that is completely on Womack, dude. Womack and DeBoer.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put 5 heavies on the field. I mean, at least 4 heavies, dude. Switch it up.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Is like if Put 5 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 2 safeties, and 2 corners. Like,
man up.
What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose?
I mean, nothing at that point. They're gashing us for 6, 7, 8 yards on a dive
dude,
play.
we got outside edge rushers, in a pistol triple option, trying to, come off of tackles. Like,
I mean, it's one thing when that edge rusher's like a Will Anderson,
right? It's a little bit different, right? When he can stone him and at the line of scrimmage and then keep his outside contained. I think you're right. The adjustments that they made were crap. What you said it to me right after the game. One of the adjustments is we brought our safeties down. Great. So, okay, cool. We bring our safeties down. Forget the passing game. What does that have to do with the tight ends, guards, tackles, centers, whoever they wanted to release, able to release and was pre-release? What does bringing the safeties down have to do with the free release? It didn't matter. All you did was allow them to block more of your second level to potentially bust a big one. I mean, yeah, you clog it up a little bit. You do clog it up a little bit when you bring the safeties down. It's 2 extra bodies. But
at the same time,
I would much rather see take one of them safeties off the field, put another defensive lineman in his place, and have a 5-man front. I don't understand not even trying a 5-man front. Like, run a goal line with 5 D linemen. Do something.
I mean, Vanderbilt only had the ball for like 45 minutes. It's not like there was plenty of time to try it.
Plenty of opportunity to run something different. But no, just like we did in the UGA game in the second half, we got into a conservative place, and then we remained there until we almost freaking lost because of how conservative we actually were. Defensively, I don't understand because their passing game was extremely vanilla. It was all within 10 yards. You're looking at on the same side of the field.
I think they had like 3 go balls they tried.
All just defended perfectly by Brown and Jackson. They ran flat out corner, drag, a tight end hitch, just simple check down stuff. And
little waggle plays.
It has to be a lack of coaching and lack of preparation. It has to be a lack of coaching. There's no way that in a short passing game that all the guys are left that open in a short pass game.
And that's the thing, right? We are in that 3-3-5 multiple of Womack's, right?
Yeah.
Which is supposed to, its strength is supposed to be against the passing game in general, but especially against the short passing game.
Yeah.
And for them, and for his defense not to be working in the run, the short passing game, the only facet it did work was the go balls. And even then, we were in man. So if you're already running man on the outside, why are you not clogging up the middle?
Why are we running the 1-2 safety high?
And that is elementary of how to stop an option attack is you stop the dive. You have to stop the dive. If you can't stop the dive on an option, you're going to get Georgia Southern. You're going to get 302 rushing yards down your throat. And there's nothing you can do about it unless you stop the dive.
Now, if you actually look at the numbers for rushing, it's not like they killed us. But when they needed a 5-6 yard run, they were able to get it.
Well, and I think we can talk about the third down percentage. We can talk about the 4th down percentage of Georgia last week. But this week, against Vanderbilt, and I've noticed it a good bit this season. We've given up a ton of 15-plus play drives, and it starts with losing first down because teams know they're going to come out on first down with a tight end set, maybe 13 personnel, and they're going to get 4, 5, 6 yards on first down. And then they can either take a shot on second down or they can run it again and have 3rd and 2. And I think the Wisconsin game, they missed some shots too. Backup quarterback, he hit a few. But I think if their starting quarterback stays in, they were marching down the field on the first drive. Doing the same thing.
UCF missed some shots, or else that game's in a totally different spot.
So, the defense has me super concerned. Womack has me very concerned. And by that, DeBoer does too, right? Because that was his hire, right? He not saying he had the pick of the litter when he got hired, but that was the defensive scheme he wanted.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's because he really only saw Texas when he was out at Washington up close. It is a weaker conference, right? Their talent nowhere near. There's only 2 teams left in that conference. That should tell you everything. But for DeBoer and Womack, they failed this week. Put some more rat traps around the facility, man. That's really going to get the team in gear for this game.
We talked about how stupid that was.
Gimmicky crap, dude. Gimmicky crap.
Like, I get what you're trying to...
I don't want DeBoer to be Saban, right? I'm not expecting him to be. No one's going to be Saban, especially in this day and age with NIL and blah, 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 blah. But it's different. I think this was his baptism, bro. This was DeBoer's wake up to the SEC. Yeah, he got us ready and prepared for Georgia. 100%. 100%. But this isn't the Pac-12 where you have 1 or 2 games a year that you have to get up for. You have to be up and prepared and on your craft every single week.
Yeah, like
and if you're not, Vandy's going to hang 40 on it. And you're not going to have the lead in that game once.
Yeah,
all credit to Vandy. Let's give Vandy credit, dude. They whipped our tail up and down the field. Up and down the field. Especially on offense. Not so much defense. But offensively, their game plan worked perfectly. Perfectly. And that quarterback they got, who beat Auburn last year at New Mexico State. Got to throw that tidbit in there. That kid's a baller, dude. Kid is a baller. Bald. He's not the biggest. He's not the fastest. But that dude played his tail off. And they executed perfectly. And we came out flat. We came out unprepared. And we came out, in my opinion, in a defense that was not schemed correctly to stop this offense. And I listening to Womack's press conference, he said he basically said they kept throwing wrinkles at us. And I take that as I got out coached. That's how I take that. Oh, they kept throwing wrinkles at us. You ever hear Saban say that crap? Oh, well, the new stuff that they ran really, really got us. No. Because you have your assignments. You have your call. And either the players did not know who they were supposed to have, or you did not have them in position where they needed to be. Either way, that's on coaching. Without a doubt.
Yep.
So
Fact.
I mean, whoo, I'm angry, dude. Just dumbfounded. Vanderbilt, 1984, dude. Vanderbilt has never beaten us while we were alive.
The football gods let DeBoer beat Georgia in his home opener against the biggest team on the biggest stage.
Preseason #1.
And then all of a sudden, the football gods reminded him where he's at.
Yep.
You know, there is no, I mean, and Vandy's bottom. Like when I tell you bottom
they
of
lost
the
to Georgia
SEC,
State.
I don't care what type of statistics or record or how good of a team they have this year or what type of
this isn't the Vandy of
It's
old.
the absolute bottom of the SEC. It's no different than losing to
Appalachian State.
Based off, all right, when you look at talent for talent and situation for situation, yeah, it's bad, dude. Forever Vandy's been what? A baseball school. You know? Vandy's been a baseball school. And you know, for it to come against a team like Vandy, it sucks. But hopefully it's like, holy crap. Okay, if the absolute worst football program in the entire SEC can beat us after we beat, you know, arguably the best one, then that just goes to show, like, I better get my shit together. You know,
yeah,
and you sat there and talked about the defense for a while. And we can blame Womack all we want, but it's DeBoer's fault ultimately. You know, he's in those meetings throughout the week. He's in the walkthrough meetings. He's in, you know, the pregame meetings. He's in the halftime meetings. He is there with the defensive and offensive coordinators, putting their game plans out there. And, you know, ultimately, he's the one who makes the final decision, whether he agrees or wants to change something or just flat disagrees. He's the guy that gets the final say-so. You know, and so for him, okay, pre-week, or sorry, you know, during the week leading up to the game, maybe that was the defensive set that, you know, against scout team was stopping that formation.
He said that. He said that in his press conference.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, there you go. Maybe that was the one that worked best against that set. And so great that was the case. But gosh dang it, bro. If I got a certain pickup line with women and it ain't working all of a sudden, I got to come up with a new pickup line. You know, like you gotta do something different. Like
otherwise, you're gonna give up 40 to Vandy.
If you're a guy that fells trees and it keeps falling in the opposite way, you might want to figure out how to make it go the right way. Change something. I mean, I can give you a million examples, by the way. I can go all day long. But God almighty, talking about Pete Golding, it was just like watching Pete. The same defensive set, the same defensive personnel on the field for the entirety of the game. What happened to, this year we're rotating so many guys. The whole season we've rotated a bunch. We have changed personnel, which is rotating. I just want to go on about that because we have put in 5, 6, 7, 8 defensive linemen in meaningful snaps this year. And we only ran the same few guys out there. If you're going to do the same thing, at least put fresh bodies, man. At least put fresh bodies out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I agree. You know, I don't think the fresh bodies would have made a difference, honestly. Like, you can't expect your 2 or 3 defensive linemen that you have on the field against a tight end set or 2 tight end set or a tight end H-back set or tight end 2 H-backs or even they went a full house, pistol full house. Yeah. And we still had 3 defensive linemen on the field.
Yeah.
What you're expecting your your three defensive linemen are getting chip blocked, double teamed, something every single play. And they're getting free interior linebackers, which we talked about earlier. But you're not stopping the dive that way either. And if you can't stop the dive, you're going to get 3rd and 2 to death.
Especially if
the
you
Bob
have
Johnson Georgia Tech teams. You know how many 4th and 1, 3rd and 2s that people would do, and you couldn't stop it? The option is nearly impossible to stop in 3rd and 2.
Especially when you have your defensive linemen lined up on the outside shoulders of of guards.
Yeah, just giving them the A gap. Just give it to them. Just give it to them.
We were in like a 1 and 3 technique the whole game.
Oh, dude, on the weak side, or one time on the strong side, we had a 0 technique over the center, and then we had a 5 or 6 technique.
That's it.
Outside the tackle. I mean, dude, with a tight end on that side.
We had A gap, B gap, and C gap was all just, here you go. Let's hope our one linebacker on that side and our one safety can come down to make a play, which that's
dude. Yeah, let me hope my 225-pound linebacker can shed this 300-pounder who's coming straight at him and make a play.
Dude,
on top of that, what blows my mind is we were in that set, and they still had numbers when they ran outside blocking. How is that even possible? How? That is purely on scheme, dude. Purely on scheme. And I don't know. DeBoer, I watched DeBoer's press conference too. And he even said it, right? Stay the course. Stay the course. We want to, it's a long season, blah, blah, blah. Coach speak, coach speak, coach speak. But they have to make changes to something. They have to make changes to something. Whether that's putting different players in, or whether that's changing up the scheme a little bit. And we need to talk about the offense too. But before we do, I want to ask you a question that was asked to me. Do you think this defense complements our offense?
No. Not because we just didn't stop anybody. Anyone would say no.
Not because Vandy put 40 on us, but
yeah, no. Because quite frankly, I don't think it's the 40 points that beat us. Like it was the time of possession that beat us. Because I think this team, if we are in an even match time of possession, I think our team wins. Because I mean, you get, let's just say even roughly third, we get the ball, 2-3 more times. Yeah. The whole point is, you ask the question is, does the defense complement the offense? No. Our offense is explosive. They feed off of big plays. And the offense scores so fast, and they score so often. I think our red zone scoring is very, very good. I mean, our kicker's only attempted three field goals all year, 5 games. It's either a punt or a tutty every time. And so our offense, it's no different than Patrick Mahomes. No, I'm not calling him Patrick Mahomes, but you want the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands as many times as possible. You want the ball in Milroe's hands as much as possible. And you almost, I think you said it the other day, would you really try to sell out for the 3 and out? And we both came to the conclusion, yes, we would sell out for the 3 and out. Quick sacks, big sacks, force
negative play on first down, win first down. Win first down.
Yeah, zero coverage, send six. Our corners aren't the problem. It's our safeties that are the problem in man coverage. But where do the 50-50 balls go? The corners. And when they feel pressure, they get nervous and chuck it. I think like you Pruitt or Venables just overly aggressive. We're sending 5, 6, maybe 7 on how frisky we're feeling. And you're just gonna have to try to sneak a big play in there and get.
And
lucky.
I mean, we did that the first half against Georgia. That was the only time we've seen that all year.
We sent 7 against Georgia on
like 3 or 4 times.
7.
We didn't do that once against this team.
Nope. It doesn't compliment the team, dude, because you got to think, how many chuck 'em up picks would we possibly get if we sent 6? How many, just mistakes to where the team is now in a 3rd and 16 to 20, where you see it all the time. In a 3rd and 20, what do you get? A draw or a little screen to the wide receiver. And if they get a first
6 or 7 yards and then they punt.
If they get a first down on the screen, you know what I mean? But that's just what happens, man. And I don't understand why we don't play an aggressive pace, an aggressive style. It's a
we showed it. We showed like a little bit of it against Georgia.
But South Florida showed everybody what you needed to do. They showed everyone what they needed to do. And every single team has been able to control clock. If I had to guess, Georgia probably had time of possession over us as well.
They did. So that's where I was going to go with this. We said talking about Georgia last week that you can't judge their offense based on that second half against us. And by the same token, you can't judge our defense by that second half, right? And a lot of people probably thought we meant, oh, you mean the defense is better than the points they gave up. We didn't necessarily mean that. We just meant you can't look at that second half and judge either one of those units because you don't know. That was not a true game scenario.
Not a normal game circumstance.
Not a normal game scenario. Not normal game flow. And during normal game flow, outside of the first half against Georgia, I'm extremely worried. Extremely worried. It's gonna boil down to the rest of our season is gonna boil down to, can Womack and DeBoer get the defense good enough for us to win? That's what it's going to boil down to, because the offense is. There's not a defense that can stop the way Milroe's playing right now. And we'll segue into the offense off that. I mean, he put up 310 yards passing against Vandy. The one pick he had hit Ryan Williams in the face. And you're a receiver, I don't care. Double coverage, little early. You got to catch that. You're a receiver and you got hit in the face. Catch the ball.
I didn't actually see the slow-mo replay or something. I genuinely didn't. Is that why the ball popped that high in the air? Because it hit him in the face mask?
Hit him in the face.
I thought it was just some fluke. I thought it was a fluky. The DB got the hands and it hit the top of the fingers and just happened to, pop up or something. I didn't know it hit him in the face.
Hit him in the face. But outside of that, he made up for his mistake, right? With that absolutely
he did. The other big mistake that he made was on the 3rd and long, catching the first down and then dropping it going out of bounds.
With our backs against the goal line.
With our backs against the goal line. The other mistake that we made, and it just so happened that he was a part of it. It's probably not his fault because he's been a return guy multiple times, but having 2 number 2s on the field, talk about a momentum shifter. We were about to get the ball back 13-7. 13-7, getting the ball back. And then
that's on coaching. You're the special teams coordinator and you have 2 number 2s on the field, that's on you.
So offensively though, I think I think offensively, it really wasn't a terrible bad game. You're gonna make mistakes. We went through a full year of Jalen Milroe, aside from one game last year, just one game. Yeah. We went through a full season of Milroe. We've been through half of a season now. We know what we're gonna get. You're gonna get a sack or two every game where you go, buddy, just get out of the pocket, make something work, and he'll give up a few sacks that way. He's gonna, make a couple bad reads, which who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? But if you only get 17 minutes and we score 5 touchdowns, and
45 plays.
how many of those drives of 45 plays, how many of those drives were really short field? I don't think any of them.
I mean, none, because we didn't have any turnovers.
None of them were short fields. That's what I'm saying. So, 17 minutes, 45 plays, 5 touchdowns. I mean, it's pretty good, dude. Especially because we had 1 3 and out. With the Ryan Williams
and then
drop,
that strip sack.
Pick, and then the fumble, the strip sack.
And then a punt after we scored our first touchdown in the second half.
Was 57. He got whipped for a decent part of the game. But did you see that play specifically? Did you see what 57? That looks like a high school JV player going against your varsity SEC defensive end. What?
Just horrible. He was out of balance. His hand spot was terrible.
His feet were so slow. His feet got stuck in the mud.
Awful.
Now that specific play, 57 struggled. But let's be honest, dude. If our defense just makes any bit of an adjustment, like Georgia, dude, they have this penny defense. They have a 5-man front and 1 linebacker. That would have been significantly better than the crap we ran.
Yep.
Anyway,
I'd have been fine with that.
What do you got
bring
about
2 safeties down, leave 1 up top, and man up on the outside. That's like a 5-3-1, 5-3-3-ish. The exact opposite of what we were running, honestly.
So what you got on the offense, dude? I mean,
the offense puts up points every week. Yeah. Every week. I mean, Jam had 5 carries for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, the offense was put in a position.
We were put in a position offensively where we had to go quick. So the running backs, weren't at near as much of a factor in this game.
I mean, because we got down so early and the defense couldn't stop. So we had to get the ball in the end zone as quick as possible to try and get as many possessions on offense as we could. And even then, we still just needed 1 stop at the end of the game. Because if we get the ball back with a minute and a half left, I think we score. I mean, they hadn't stopped them, outside of a Milroe sack, or him not seeing the blitz, which, like we said last week, is at least my kind of issue with him. I believe we go and score and we win the game. And
if our offense gets the ball back, I think we score and win.
Looking forward, it boils down to, can DeBoer and can Womack either get the defensive playing properly or get the scheme right? Are they going to get the defense good enough to win games, win the big games? And it's going to take all 4 quarters.
I'm not going to say the big games. I just say win.
Any game. I mean, any game.
Win the games, period. Every game was a big game, period. Every game is now that much bigger. It's almost like Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois. It's like, dang, bro, if y'all lose another one, we could keep y'all out with 2 losses because of who you lost to. Now with Vandy, they did beat Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech. At Missouri, they only lost 5-3, but we just saw Missouri get obliterated by a A&M team that has just been
we You called that one last week. You did. You called
Oh
it.
yeah.
You called that one. You was like, "Yep." So you can go back and watch last week's episode for that take.
Yeah, that's right.
But before we get off into, playoff look, what the playoffs look like going forward, what our position, Bama's position is in the playoffs, other teams, we're gonna take a break here. We're gonna start up part 2 here shortly. So send your takes if you have any to tidetakes1@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your view or views. If you like the content, thank you for coming back. I'll drop a comment with a link to the way you can copy the email and paste it in there and get your takes sent in. Because we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get some takes featured on here and get our thoughts on them. But all right, Casey, we'll bring it back up here in a few minutes, and we'll be going over playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. So if you guys want to listen in, please do. We'd love to have you. Like I said, send your takes in, and we'll see you for part 2.
Yes, sir.